Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribed. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll be posting a special video. My mother-in-law lines in and my kid flinches. Santa is pretend, she breathes, lips close to my daughter's ear. My daughter jerks back and knocks a chair. The sound hits like a shot, then silence. I step between them before another word lands. I'm Alex, 34, I say, eyes on the door for escape. My daughter clutches my sweater and won't blink. Did you just tell her that? I ask, pulse climbing. A tight smile forms, holy and sharp. Truth matters, she answers, chin lifted like a gavel. My daughter trembles and bites her lip. Her stare begs me to fix this mess. Bathroom, I whisper to my kid, pointing down the hall. She moves fast, small steps, quick breaths, fists tight. I wait for the click, then face the offense. Why now? I ask, voice flat but loaded. You feed her myths, she says, hands clasped hard. She must choose God, not a toy bringer. She inches closer like she owns the hallway. My jaw locks, choice lands right here. You do not rewrite our rules, I say, palm raised. This house runs on consent and trust. She studies me like I'm a problem set. Your wife wants honesty, she says, baiting a crack. Footsteps return light, cautious, then stop at the corner. My daughter peers around the wall, eyes glossy. Dad, she whispers, voice a thread pulled tight. Is Santa fake? She asks, breath held. I crouch so we're level and present. Santa means secret gifts and warm surprises, I say. Grown-ups help him so magic reaches kids. She searches my face like a detective with one clue. A scoff slices the air behind me. Lies breed more lies, my mother-in-law mutters. She raises a finger like a warning bell. Say the real truth, she insists, stepping forward. My daughter shrinks and I stand again. Hold there, I say, the space now drawn. We comfort the child first, then we talk. The line glows between us like hot wire. My wife appears at the doorway with tight shoulders. She looks from her mother to our girl. Not here, she says, voice careful yet strained. But the damage already hums like a hive. Did you ask for this? I ask my wife. Her eyes flicker toward our child, then away. She presses her lips and offers no answer. My stomach dips like the floor just moved. I turn to my kid and give a nod. We will keep the fun, we will keep the wonder. We choose when stories become facts. Her body eases, then tenses at the word choose. A chair leg scrapes and my mother-in-law bristles. You choose sin over salvation, she declares, unblinking. Her voice is steady and cold like a lock. Confess now or I call this deception. My daughter's breath stutters and my patience thins. Language like that scares children, I tell her. Stand down or step outside for a break. I point at the door, the only clear lever. She laughs once, a harsh little bell. You cannot bar me from my granddaughter, she says. She plants her feet as if roots grew. Challenge accepted, my pulse answers. I shift my stance and shake out tension. My daughter watches every move like a referee. Let's take space, I say, eyes on my wife. What happens next is on our call. My wife swallows and rubs her wrist. Her lips part like she might apologize. Instead she whispers, Mom, please stop. The word please hangs in the air like smoke. I won't be silent, my mother-in-law fires back. Her soul is first, your customs are last. She points at my child with a trembling hand. I step in front and end the sightline. My daughter's voice, barely audible, breaks through. I still get a stocking, she asks, hopeful and scared. Yes, I answer, steady as I can manage. We keep joy no matter who disapproves. A low snort answers me like a gavel drop. Joy without truth is poison, she murmurs. She reaches for her coat like a verdict. Then I will pray outside, she adds, daring us. The knob chills my palm as I open the door. Cold air brushes the hallway, my kid shivers. Come back when you can respect our choice, I say. My wife's breath catches, my daughter holds mine too. Mother-in-law looks at the threshold and then us. Her jaw sets like a closed book. She steps onto the porch and turns once. I will not bless lies, she says, then leaves. The door closes and the quiet is loud. My daughter leans into me and lets go. I keep my voice low and certain. Magic stays tonight, I tell her, because it must. The doorbell fires 3 times, fast, demanding. My kid jolts and grips my sleeve. Through the peephole, her mother stands rigid on the landing. I slide the chain and breathe once. Do we open? A text lands as I hesitate. My screen flashes her threat to return with a guide. I show my wife the message and tilt my head. Your move, I tell her, because choice sits here. She dials with shaking fingers and steps aside. Ground rules, she says into the phone, voice clipped. No lectures, no corner talks, no surprise sermons. Silence answers, then a flat buzz, call ended. Another. Chime splits the hallway like a blade. I speak through the gap and keep my tone measured. You can come in if you honor the rules. The chain rattles as she tests it, then stillness. My daughter whispers without lifting her face. Did I do something wrong by liking Christmas? I crouch and keep my words steady and plain. You did nothing wrong, I tell her. She bites her lip. My wife unlocks the chain with a quick click. Her mother steps in with tight shoulders and dry eyes. She stops 3 feet from us and folds her hands. Agree to the rules, I say, leaving no wiggle. A long stare, then a sharp nod. I will not mention that name, she murmurs. She sets a tote by the wall and straightens up. My kid watches that bag like it might bite. Games only, I propose, palms open, stance firm. Family time in the living room, nothing private. My wife places a timer on the shelf and taps start. 40 minutes, she says, my pulse keeps count. We settle on the floor, my daughter between us. Her mother tries a prayer under her breath. I lift a finger once and she clamps her mouth. The timer ticks loud in my head, no slips. Do elves help him fly? My kid asks suddenly. She looks at me, then at the elder. My wife squeezes our child's knee and nods toward me. We keep helpers in the story, I answer carefully. Her mother stiffens but holds the line. She suggests we donate a toy this week. Good deed, no strings, I add before trouble sparks. My kid brightens, then glances up for approval. The elder opens the tote and pulls a wrapped box. No label, no card, only rough paper and tape. She offers it out with a thin smile and lifted chin. I pause because the bait feels obvious. Later, I say, sliding it under the coffee table. My daughter nods, curious but patient for once. The elder exhales sharply and shifts on her feet. The timer blinks, 32 minutes left, pressure climbs. My phone buzzes again on the counter. A message from her group chat lights the screen. Pray for my family in deception, the preview reads. I flip it face down and meet her eyes. We keep our business offline, I tell her, voice firm. She looks away but does not argue. My wife leans forward and holds her mother's wrist. Delete that, she whispers, or the visit is over. The wrist slips free with a small jerk. I will edit it, the elder replies, jaw set. She taps quickly and shows the cleared post. My wife nods once, my chest eases a fraction. My daughter crawls into my lap and tilts her head. If he is not a person, why does he write back? She pulls a crumpled note from her pocket, new and recent. My stomach dips because I did not write that. Her mother lines in, interest piercing the ceasefire. Who penned that, she asks, eyes cutting to my wife. We both stare at the handwriting, curling letters and hearts. My daughter whispers, it was on my pillow last night. I keep my gaze steady and think fast. My wife rubs her temple and avoids my eyes. The elder senses blood and shifts her weight forward. Lies multiply, she begins, and I lift a palm. No speeches, I say, keeping the frame intact. We answer our child, then we resume. I turn back to the note and read the silly wish. There is a clue, a phrase my wife always uses. Did you write this? I ask, voice soft but direct. Her throat moves once and she nods very slightly. For fun, she adds, cheeks hot with guilt. The elder smiles like the trap just snapped closed. My daughter's face falls, wonder wobbling on a thin wire. I catch it quickly with a promise spoken clear. Stories are games we play together and we choose the rules. She breathes out and nods, though doubt still dances. The elder steps past the line and faces the timer. I want 5 minutes alone, she demands with cold calm. My wife blocks her path with a shake of the head. Group only, she says, the rule holds for now. A heavy knock rattles the back door without warning. 3 hits spaced evenly, like an alarm we did not set. The elder freezes and glances toward the kitchen. My phone lights up with a text from her husband, he is here. I bolt the back latch while knuckles pound again. My daughter stares at the hallway like it might crack. My wife moves toward the kitchen, then stops mid-step. Stay here, I tell her 3 breaths, then I go. I open the door a hand's width and plant my foot. Her father stands square on the mat, jaw clenched. A man in a stiff collar hovers behind him. We came to fix confusion, the older man announces, my gut tightens. No side entrances, I answer, shoulder filling the gap. House rules apply to everyone, including guests. The caller tries to speak and raises a pamphlet. I lift a hand, he lowers it, edge held. Footsteps approach behind me and the air shifts. My mother-in-law appears in the archway, eyes bright. She waves them forward like a coach calling a play. My wife steps between them in the hall, line drawn. Group room only. My wife says, steady and clipped. No one corners our kid, no detours. Her father grunts and angles for the threshold. I widen the door just enough and hold his stare. They enter and clock the timer on the shelf. The caller nods toward my daughter and smiles thinly. May I ask her a gentle question? He tries. Ask us, I counter, his lips pressed shut. The wrapped box under the table scrapes against my shoe. My daughter's hand darts down and drags it out. She rips the seam with frantic fingers, paper falls. A note slides free, my throat goes hot. She reads the line, face draining as she mouths it. There is no Santa, ask your parents for the facts. She looks at me, then at all 3 visitors. Silence swallows the room before anyone blinks. Who wrote that? I ask, voice low and clean. Her father tips his chin toward the older woman. She brought the gift, he adds, eyes daring me. The caller shifts as if distancing, cowardice smells familiar. The older woman opens her mouth and then clamps it. My wife turns to her mother and waits, nothing comes. My daughter clutches the note until it crumples. Why would a present hurt? She whispers, knife twist. We correct mistakes, the caller offers, palms up. Children need straight lines, not make-believe. I step closer and point at the crumpled paper. Straight lines do not ambush kids, I answer, heat tight. Her father plants his hands on his hips. You hide reality and call it kindness, he throws. He nods at the caller like a cue. Explain reverence, he orders, the caller inhales. Stop, my wife cuts, voice shaking but firm. This is not your classroom and not your pulpit. She picks up the timer and holds it eye level. 5 minutes left, use them wisely, she warns. My daughter slips the note into her pocket. She edges behind me and looks at the caller. Do helpers fly? She asks, defiant and small. He glances at the older woman for approval, then stalls. We celebrate generosity, I answer, never looking away. We keep surprises alive because they build trust. Her father snorts and calls it weakness under his breath. My wife's head snaps toward him, fire finally visible. Apologize to him, she demands, chin lifted. Her father squares up and refuses with a tight shake. The older woman touches his slave, tiny plea ignored. The caller studies the door like he wants out. I point to the tote leaning by the wall. Anything else in there we should discover, I ask. The older woman nudges it with her shoe, no comment. My daughter flinches and pulls closer to my leg. The caller clears his throat and tries again. May I share a short blessing for peace, he asks. 30 seconds, no lectures, I allow, palm still raised. He murmurs a compact prayer. My daughter watches his hands. Silence lands hard when he finishes. Nobody breathes. The timer beeps once, visit window closing. Her father checks the doorway and rolls his shoulders. Conversation continues at our place, he throws, threat obvious. That will not happen, I counter without blinking. Visits pause until respect returns, write that down. The older woman's mouth trembles like a mask slipping. Her gaze flicks to my daughter and softens, too late. My wife lifts her phone and opens the camera. If this keeps up, I record everything, she warns. Any stunt goes to the judge of public opinion. Even the caller straightens at that, finally cautious. Her father reaches toward the tote and freezes. Take it, I tell him, voice flat as concrete. He grabs the handles and backs toward the kitchen. I shadow him step for step, corridor narrowing. At the threshold, he pauses and looks past me. You will answer for this rebellion, he mutters. The older woman brushes his arm, eyes shiny. The caller slips through the doorway like smoke and disappears. I close the door and set the latch with a click. My daughter exhales and leans into my side. My wife looks at the crushed paper in our child's pocket. We need one more rule, she says, and I nod. I grab the crushed slip from my kid's pocket. The fold hides a tiny stamp in the corner. A church logo stares up like a dare. My wife sees it too, and her jaw hardens. We add a condition, she says, voice steady. No direct messages to our child from anyone. I nod and open a family thread on my phone. I type the new boundary and hit send. Her mother replies with a single verse and a glare. Her father adds a thumbs up to the verse. The priest leaves a folded hands emoji and nothing else. My daughter studies our faces like a weather report. The doorbell rings again, short, urgent, twice. I check the camera and see a parcel on the mat. No courier, no footsteps, just the package sitting there. My wife reaches for the chain and waits for my cue. Pause it, I tell her and turn to our kid. You pick, open now or wait until morning. She chews her nail and looks toward the hallway. Open now, she whispers, courage thin but real. I unlat. CH the door and bring the parcel inside. My daughter tears the paper with quick little bursts. A plastic handset rolls out with a single button. A card reads, call this for the truth, my chest tightens. My wife snatches the card and flips it over. A 10-digit number is printed in blocky ink. Put it on speaker, my daughter says, eyes locked. I hold the handset and press the button. A recorded voice answers with tinny certainty. There is no Santa, ask your parents for facts. Then a beep, then a second message with the priest's tone. Come to youth night if you want answers, it drones. I end the call and set the phone down. My daughter clutches my arm and swallows hard. My wife looks at the camera feed and reloads it. A sedan idles at the curb, engine faint through glass. Inside now, I say, and lock both doors. I text the thread again with a new line. Any more stunts and visits stop for a month. 3 dots appear and vanish, then nothing at all. My daughter walks to the mantel and stops. Does Santa still write back if people are mean? Her voice shakes and then steadies like a drumbeat. We can send him a letter tonight, I answer. She brings me a sheet and waits while I think. We write together with short sentences and bold wishes. Nothing flowery, just requests for surprise and kindness. She signs with a star and presses her lips tight. A ping lands on my phone like a pebble. Her mother posts a public story about deceitful parents. My wife screen shares it to our television with shaking hands. The comments start stacking with claps and prayers. I take a breath and call her number directly. Take it down or you lose access, I say calm. A pause stretches, then a cold refusal through the speaker. My thumb hovers over the block button like a trigger. Another ping arrives, this time from the priest. A group invite pops up with the title Truth Circle. The event location is their house in 1 hour. A photo of candy canes anchors the pitch. My daughter hears the ping and glances over. Will they make me go, she asks, shoulders tight. No, I tell her, clear and simple like a light switch. She breathes out and finally nods like she believes me. We set the handset on the counter and stare. My wife picks it up and checks the battery cover. She finds a tiny sticker with a return phone number. Her eyes flash and she snaps a picture for proof. I dial the sticker number and wait for a click. Her father answers with a grunt and a cough. It is a church device for outreach, he declares. I hang up before he can spin a sermon. My daughter tugs my sleeve and points toward the hallway. Someone walked by my door earlier, she murmurs. She opens her small fist and reveals a paper shred. A corner with the same church stamp and ragged edge. I check the hallway closet and find a spare key box. The box sits open with the hook hanging empty. My wife's face drains and then turns fierce. We change locks tonight, she says and hands me tools. My phone buzzes once more, the group thread restarts. Her mother writes that she will come back tomorrow. She adds that she will bring friends for moral support. My thumb taps out a single word, prohibited, then I mute. My daughter folds her letter and seals it with tape. She asks where to leave it so magic can find it. We build a mailbox together before bedtime, I tell her. She nods and runs for markers like a mission. My wife blocks the front room and faces me square. We need a witness for any future visit, she says. Neutral person, no ties to either side. I agree and text our neighbor with a short request. The priest sends a final message while we craft. Doors are open if your child seeks truth. I delete it and take a photo of our mailbox. We post our own line in the family thread, evidence stored. I slide the finished mailbox onto the shelf edge. My daughter slips her letter through and taps twice. She watches as if expecting bells or footsteps. I smile and keep my body quiet and still. Through the window, the sedan pulls away in a hurry. No goodbyes, no lingering, just a quick retreat. My wife exhales and leans her forehead against mine. We hold this ground until they learn, she whispers. My daughter points at the handset and scowls. Can we throw that away tonight? She asks softly. Not yet, we may need it for proof. She nods, then climbs onto the couch with steady legs. I set alarms for every door and pocket the spare key. I photograph the stamp on the paper shred and upload it. A folder labeled Boundaries grows on my phone screen. Tomorrow will bring tests, but tonight belongs to us. I wake to footsteps on the porch and a hushed prayer. My kid bolts upright and grabs my wrist. I peek through the blind and see 3 figures clustering. One lifts a phone toward our door, recording already. I text our neighbor the single word witness. He replies with a thumbs up and a short ETA. My wife signs to me, no open eye. NG, document everything. I nod and hit the outside camera feed. A knock lands, measured, churchy, patient. Family meeting, a man calls through the wood. My daughter shivers and stares at our little mailbox. I shake my head, no move until backup arrives. The phone flashes again as the elder speaks. We bring love, she insists from 2 feet away. A second voice adds in clarity for the child. I mute the intercom before anger leaks out. Our neighbor strides up in slippers with a clipboard. He waves at the camera and names the date. Independent observer present, he announces into his mic. The trio shift their weight, bluff cracking. I unlock the chain one notch and keep the bar. Are you here to apologize or to preach? I ask. Apology, the elder answers, hands pressed together. We also brought literature, the other adds, bait noted. Apology only, I say and crack the door. My daughter stands behind my leg and watches mouths. My wife holds her phone at chest level recording. The neighbor plants himself within frame, silent tower. The elder clears her throat and looks at my kid. I'm sorry for frightening you, she offers, eyes damp. She tries to step forward and I block the path. Her gaze darts to the lens, then back to us. The man in the collar lifts a booklet halfway. May I leave this, he asks, voice light and coaxing. Not today, I answer and tilt my head. He lowers it with a faint, tight smile. Her father hovers behind them, arms crossed hard. Can we pray as a family? He pushes softly. My wife shakes her head with a single motion. Not right now, she says, our neighbor scribbles. The elder exhales and reaches into a tote. She pulls out a small envelope and holds it flat. For the child, she whispers, my gut tightens again. My daughter stiffens and waits for me to decide. Place it on the mat and step back, I instruct. The envelope lands, paper whispers against concrete. The trio retreat 3 paces as I open fully. I pick it up with 2 fingers, camera lingering. Inside sits a handwritten apology and a gift card. A second card hides beneath, youth night schedule. I lift that one with a fingertip and raise eyebrows. The caller swallows and tries to look innocent. Wrong insert, he murmurs with a stiff nod. Accident, he adds, our neighbor notes the word. My wife extends an open palm for the schedule. He hands it over and stares at the sidewalk. My daughter peers at the apology and bites her lip. Can I accept it? She asks under her breath. Yes, the apology, I answer, clear and slow. Not the invitation, I add as she nods. A car idles at the curb and a window lowers. A phone points from the driver's seat straight at us. My neighbor swivels and films the filmer. The window inches up, then down again, tension stays. Her father tries a gentler tone and soft eyes. Let's start over at our place tonight, he suggests. Cookies, songs, simple conversation. My wife looks at him like he offered a trap. No transitions until trust returns, she replies steady. Future visits require neutral oversight. She points to our neighbor and then to her phone. Everything documented, she adds, the trio flinch. The caller rotates the booklet and tucks it away. I understand boundaries, he says with a thin line. May we at least pray outside for peace. Our neighbor lifts a hand, 1 minute max. They circle on the walkway and murmur a tight chant. No names, no lectures, just a brief amen. My daughter squeezes my fingers and counts silently. I watch the clock on my screen, 50 seconds. Prayer ends and the elder looks lighter for a breath. Then the driver honks and yells, smile for the truth. Our neighbor steps into frame and states our policy. No consent for recording minors, he says, firm and clean. I pocket the apology and seal the door again. My daughter points at the mailbox we built last night. Can I send a letter back right now? She asks. Yes, add your wish, I answer. She runs. While she writes, my wife taps out a message. To all relatives, she posts, no surprise visits allowed. She attaches a photo of the schedule confiscated moments ago. 3 red receipts blink, then a 4th, eyes are watching. A new knock lands, lighter, almost polite. A woman in a plain jacket shows her badge. Wellness check, she announces, not hostile, just official. My neighbor reappears and keeps his camera rolling. I open fully and invite her into the entry. She keeps her shoes on and nods at my daughter. Just confirming safety after a concerned report. My wife gestures to the apology and the schedule. The woman reads both and whistles under her breath. No more unsolicited contact with the child, she notes. Keep logs, keep witnesses, keep your camera ready. We agree while our neighbor signs his name as witness. The badge lady steps out and addresses the group. Stop direct outreach to the minor, she instructs calmly. Communicate with the parents only. Her eyes lock on the caller, he blinks. They shuffle toward the curb in uneasy silence. The driver mutters something about persecution and rights. The elder touches her chest and looks back once. I close the door before the stare can linger. My daughter slips her newest note into the slot. She taps the box twice and grins with relief. Will he answer tonight? She asks without fear. We will make sure he does, I tell her. My phone pings with a new event invite. Same title, different venue, 2 hours from now. The caller swapped locations to dodge the warning. I forward it to the badge lady without commentary. We eat quickly while my wife drafts a text. Consequences begin now, she types to the family thread. Any further contact goes through our neighbor. She tags him and he replies with a single checkmark. A thump at the window snaps our heads up. An envelope slides under the sill and lands on the rug. No footsteps follow, only the rattle of a mailbox lid. I sprint outside and scan the hedges, nothing moves. Back inside, I slit the envelope and hold my breath. A photo of our kid at last year's pageant stares up. On the back, a message reads, "Tell her the truth soon." My wife's hands curl into fists, cool fury rising. I photograph both sides and upload to our folder. I label it with time and location and sender unknown. Our neighbor adds it to his log with a neat note. The folder grows thicker while my patience thins. The badge lady returns our text within minutes. She asks for the photos and the invite screenshot. Understood, she writes, I will document and escalate. My daughter leans on my shoulder and listens. A quiet hour passes, intentional, careful, fragile. We build a small trail of paper snowflakes for fun. Each cut piece feels like a reset button. Then the doorbell rings again, 3 hard strikes. I open to find a single man from the group. No collar, no tote, just a phone and that smile. I came alone to reconcile, he announces too smoothly. Leave a letter at the threshold, I answer, no entry. He pulls a folded sheet from his pocket and hesitates. I can help soften the elder's stance, he offers. There is space if you admit the myth today. My wife laughs once, short, humorless, protective. I hold up the earlier apology and the new threat. You are out of chances, I tell him evenly. Further contact routes through counsel and the officer. He pockets his paper and tries to peer past me. Is the child present? He asks, craning his neck. Our neighbor steps into the doorway and blocks the view. Conversation over, the neighbor states with calm authority. The man retreats 2 steps and taps his phone. He streams live and frames our porch with a tilt. Friends, they refuse dialogue, he narrates to nobody visible. I lean forward and name our address policy on camera. No filming minors, no access without consent, I declare. He ends the live with a shrug and a smirk. See you at service, he tosses toward the street. Not happening, my wife replies as she locks the gate. His shoulders stiffen, but he keeps walking. Dusk pushes and my kid yawns mid-sentence. She brings me the mailbox and points at the slot. It feels full, she whispers like a secret mission. I open it and pull out a tiny bell. Attached to the bell is a printed token. From Santa's workshop, it reads, "Delivery confirmed tonight." My daughter gasps and strokes the metal softly. I glance at my wife, question marks dance between us. We scan the camera logs and find a motion blip. A neighbor kid dashed up and dropped the bell earlier. His parents text a minute later with a smiling note. From our house to yours, it reads, "Safe kindness restored." My daughter laughs for the first time today. She rings the bell once and tucks it under her pillow. "Now I know he has helpers," she murmurs with pride. My chest loosens as our plan quietly holds. I walk the perimeter and check each latch twice. I slide the handset into a labeled bag for evidence. The envelope photo goes in a second sleeve. Order calms the noise, but the night still hums. A final text pings from an unknown number. "Last offer before public action," it reads in bold. "Admit the truth or we escalate to community." I breathe out and craft a reply with careful edges. "Stop contact," I type, "your messages are archived. Respect our child or face legal steps." I hit send and screenshot for the record. My wife places her hand over mine, steady and warm. We gather in the hallway and link arms. My kid whispers a wish into the mailbox slot. No magic words, only a clear request for joy. I lift her up and promise we will deliver. The house settles while the phone stays silent. Outside, tires crunch once, then fade into distance. I keep my shoes by the door for a midnight run. If they come again, we are ready to answer. I wake to a new ping and a fresh threat. Last warning, the message reads, "Meeting at noon." I forward it to the officer we spoke with. "Received," she replies, "documented and noted." My daughter pads in and checks the letter box. Her bell glints and a tiny card sits under it. "Delivery tonight," the card reads with a looping stamp. She smiles, then watches me for the next step. I text our neighbor to stand by for midday. He answers with a short yes and a photo of his clipboard. My wife drafts a single line to the family thread. "Noon is closed, communications only by email," she posts. A car rolls to a stop outside, idling in bold. My phone records the plate while my neighbor films. I speak through the intercom and keep it tight. "No entry without written agreement, leave now," I state. The driver kills the engine but stays put. Another text arrives with a promise to expose us. I screen grab and send it to the officer. "Maintain distance and save everything," she replies, process engaged. My daughter tucks the bell back under her pillow. "Will Santa avoid mean people?" she whispers, eyes steady. "Santa goes everywhere helpers protect him," I tell her. She nods and closes the bedroom door slowly. My wife opens her laptop and starts a draft. Subject line reads, "Cease and desist, family boundaries." We list the rules in plain bullet points. Supervised visits, no direct contact, no recordings, clear teeth. The door knocker taps twice, polite but insistent. I breathe once and open with the latch still set. The elder stands alone with a folded note. "Peace," she offers, voice thin but deliberate. "Place it down and step back," I tell her. She obeys and then raises both hands. No cameras, just a mother asking for mercy. I tilt my head, mercy has conditions. I read the note while she waits on the path. "I will stop the campaign if we admit the truth." My jaw tightens and I slide the paper into a bag. "We do not bargain with our child's joy," I answer. Her eyes flick to the window where my daughter watches. She softens, then hardens like a door closing slowly. "Then the church proceeds," she murmurs with chilling calm. I nod toward the street and end the scene. Inside, my wife hits send on the formal letter. She copies the officer and our neighbor for record. The outbox clears and my pulse finally slows. The car outside starts again, wheels crunching away. Noon arrives and our door remains shut. We eat together and read my daughter's wish aloud. It asks for kindness at school and at home. It asks for music tonight and one secret surprise. The officer texts at 1 with a crisp update. Harassment report filed with screenshots and timestamps. Any approach today, call immediately, she adds. My wife replies with thanks, short and exact. Afternoon passes under watchful calm and lived restraint. The family thread goes quiet except for one reply. Her father writes a single line, "We will reflect." I do not answer, silence works better now. At 5, a courier drops a sealed envelope. Official letterhead peeks through the window slot. I open it with careful fingers and a braced heart. The church withdraws the event invite, pressure worked. Our neighbor knocks once and grins through the glass. He holds up a signed statement and a thumb drive. Everything backed up, he says, voice steady and sure. I thank him and tuck it in the growing file. My daughter drags me to the letter box again. She wants to add one more line to her note. Please keep surprises safe from rude grown-ups, she writes. She slides it in and taps twice like a code. Evening edges close and our phones stay dark. My wife brings out a small bag with a ribbon. She hides it behind the couch with a wink. Santa pays early when storms pass, she whispers. A final car crawls by and does not stop. The camera catches the plate and a quick glance. Then the street empties like a stage cleared. I exhale quiet, earned, temporary. Bedtime, my daughter waits for a sign. I ring the bell once and lift the box flag. A note appears from under the pillow, prepped at dusk. Joy is safe here, it reads, print neat and simple. She hugs me hard and breathes into my shirt. Can we invite the neighbor for cookies tomorrow, she asks. Yes, I tell her, because helpers deserve cookies. She smiles and pulls the blanket to her chin. I lock the doors and set a final alert. My wife places the ribboned bag in the living room. We stand together and watch the hallway like sentries. Outside nothing stirs, inside the magic holds.